Week 5, we continue to work on Module 3, Measurement. Chapter 11 first discusses the basic criteria of a questionnaire. A classification of question types will be presented. Some helpful guidelines for writing questions and for preventing the most common mistakes will be provided in this chapter. A few survey technologies are introduced. How to pretest survey instruments are addressed in the last part of this chapter. The data gathered via a questionnaire must be both relevant and accurate to be of value. A researcher systematically planning a survey faces several decisions that will shape the value of the questionnaire. What should be asked? How should questions be phrased? In what sequence should the questions be arranged? What questionnaire layout will best serve the research objectives? How can the questionnaire encourage complete responses? How should the questionnaire be pretested and revised if needed? Open-ended response questions pose some question and ask the respondent to answer in his or her own words. Here are some examples of open-ended questions. They provide the respondent with flexibility and may allow for meaningful interpretive conclusions. Open-ended response questions are especially useful in exploratory research or at the beginning of a questionnaire. However, they make a questionnaire more expensive to analyze and interpret because an interviewer must review each response. As a result, interviewer bias can influence the responses to such questions. Alternatively, fixed alternative questions require less interviewer skill, take less time, are easier to answer, and encourage break-offs less. In fixed alternative questions, the researcher provides respondents with specific limited alternative responses and asks them to choose the one closest to their own viewpoint. Care must be taken to formulate responses so that they do not overlap and to make sure all plausible response categories are provided. To avoid common mistakes in writing questionnaire items, survey language should be simple to allow for variations in vocabulary and knowledge. Researchers with strong opinions should seek assistance in making sure a questionnaire is free of leading or loaded questions, which subtly encourage one response over another. Here is one example showing a leading question. Here are two examples showing loaded questions. Two other common problems are item ambiguity and double-barreled questions. Here are the examples showing ambiguous questions. A double-barrel question asks two or more questions at the same time. By keeping each question short and stated with simple, concrete terminology, these problems can be reduced. Researchers who ask respondents about past specific behaviors should consider giving some sort of assistance to prime memory. Here are examples. Or employed aided record questions. Here are the examples. A person's response to a question can vary based on where in the sequence of items that question appears. Order bias can be caused by the influence of earlier questions in a questionnaire or by an answer's position in a set of answers. Researchers often employ the funnel technique of survey design. This technique involves asking the most general questions about some subject first, and the most specific questions about a subject last. Once all subjects have been covered, any remaining sensitive or demographic items are included. Randomization also plays a role in reducing order bias. Survey software makes the randomization of questions and the randomization of responses simple. Both approaches reduce order bias. The randomized response technique also offers a way to make respondents comfortable answering even very embarrassing questions. Survey flow refers to the ordering of questions through a survey. Some surveys involve branching that takes respondents to different parts of the questionnaire based on a response to a specific question. Branching is implemented by having respondents who do not qualify based on a filter question skip questions that a qualified respondent answers. Internet surveys allow researchers to use effective tools to monitor respondents as they move through a survey. Response quality checks and timing questions monitor whether a respondent is paying attention. Respondents who are not fulfilling their responsibility can be branched out of the survey or given a prompt to notify them of a problem. Internet questionnaires also can include special questions that track behavior, including timing and heat map questions. Pretesting helps reveal errors while they can still be corrected easily. A preliminary tabulation may show that even if respondents understand questions, the responses are not relevant to the marketing problem. Often the most efficient way to conduct a pretest is with interviews to generate quick feedback. International marketing researchers must take cultural factors into account when designing questionnaires. The most widespread problem involves translation into another language. International questionnaires are often back-translated.